Hello, and thanks for tuning into Town Meeting TV's coverage of Town Meeting Day 2026. My name is Gabe Salazar. This program is part of a series of candidate forums hosted by Town Meeting TV in advance of the Town Meeting Day election on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. These forums are made possible by Town Meeting TV's generous underwriting partners. You can find all of our forums at cctv.org/TMD2026 or on our Town Meeting TV YouTube channel. On tonight's program, we will hear from Andrew Chalnick, running for the South Burlington City Council. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we prepared a list of questions in order to go over some of the pressing issues in South Burlington, in which case we would like to have 90 seconds to have a response. So to begin, what do you love about South Burlington, and why do you want to serve as a city councilor?
Yeah, thank you. Before I answer, I want to thank you and Town Meeting Day TV. This is really an amazing service that you guys provide, particularly for an uncontested seat. It's really important for constituents to hear from folks that will be, helping to run the city, our policies, our values, our hopes, our dreams. So thank you so much.
Of course.
South Burlington is a treasure, and I hope that the secret doesn't get out too broadly. The obvious things are the scenic beauty, the recreational opportunities adjacent to an airport. We've now got a thriving downtown. We can access Burlington. We have shopping, amenities. What makes South Burlington stand out is the community and the culture. When I moved here about a decade ago, I moved from a completely different kind of place, and I didn't really anticipate the level of civic engagement, the civil nature of the discourse that I would experience, the diversity of views, the respectful dialogue. It's what drew me into public service, and it's why I want to continue to serve as city councilor. And it's been, I think, a great 3 years. I think the city council really kind of fired on all cylinders, and the city's doing well. So I want to continue that. There's a lot more to do, a lot more to talk about here, but I love this city, and that's why I want to serve.
Of course, thank you. I think that's a great opening to begin with, but as we know, of course, this is a political task, and so we have a lot of issues that come up when it comes to the South Burlington constituents. One of the issues, it comes with the city budget, which of course, when it comes down to it, is all about finances. How do we get things done in the material world? Do you support the proposed city budget of $58.4 million? And what is the highlight, you think, in the budget proposal?
Of course I support it. It's an excellent budget. For the second year in a row, this city has budgeted to keep municipal taxes flat in real dollars, acknowledging that people are struggling, and affordability is a real issue for many people. With that, we've maintained all of our core and vital city services. We have an excellent police department, excellent internationally recognized fire and EMS, our Department of Public Works, down the board. We've got great city services. And we've managed to increase our service delivery. The proposed budget allocates money for a new director of economic development, for a new staff person to help out with our cemeteries, with our downtown. We've allocated money for stipends for folks that serve on our committees, because people said to us, sometimes they need some financial help. So this is an equitable way of ensuring that the entire community can participate. And you might say, how have we done this so well, really? Because I think we've really done so well. And our finances are in great shape. We've got, a surplus, a healthy fund balance. We've still got opera dollars to spend. We're in really solid shape. And the way we've done it, we've been really careful about our spending. And our paving budget is up 70%. We've been really careful about our spending, and we've been intentional about thinking long term. We've built densely, where we've directed development to build densely in dense areas, which reduces the unit cost per service for the city. We've been really smart about climate. We're saving $200,000 a year because of our solar array. We've invested in electric vehicles, which save us a lot of money up front and a lot of money to operate. We've protected our wetlands, which have insulated South Burlington from a lot of the damage we've seen around the state from the extra precipitation caused by climate change and the flooding. So it's, you know, thinking very intentionally about the finances, but thinking very intentionally about the long term to achieve a budget which accomplishes a lot and flat in real dollars.
Do you believe that the budget would be more of a stability question or an expansion? I mean, what do you think is the goal for South Burlington in your eyes?
Like I said, this budget continues to deliver all the services that we have been delivering, right? We've expanded. We've got our public library. We're now open on Sundays, right? We support the Howard Center. We support community justice. So everything that people expect from this city, we're providing. Plus, as I mentioned, we're expanding to focus on our economic development. I know we're going to talk about that some more. To get our cemeteries in better shape, we're helping SB3C, which supports our downtown. We're hiring a person along with the same person to help out cemeteries, to help out the downtown. So, you know, firing on all cylinders.
Excellent. All right. I mean, now let's turn to another important one, which I believe would have to be the school budget. I think education is always on the forefront of a lot of Vermonters' considerations. Do you support this year's proposed school budget, $73.9 million, with an estimated tax increase of 8.76%?
I think it's first important for viewers and constituents to understand that the City Council owns the municipal budget and the school board owns the school budget. So, you know, as a city councilor, I have no involvement or say over the school budget. So I'm going to answer your question, not as a city councilor, right? Just as a you know, a resident.
South Burlingtonian.
South Burlington resident.
Right.
And what I'm going to say is I'm a strong believer in public education. I have 4 children. They all went through the public school system to here in Vermont, to where we moved from. Mm-hmm. I believe this school board is trying really hard. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot more transparency, a lot of information. I know they're struggling with factors that are beyond their control, right? Salaries and healthcare expense and the pupil weightings and how much money we get, right? There's so many factors that make it really difficult for this school board to really exert control over the budget that I feel for them. I think it's a difficult challenge. So I think that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to disclose how I'm personally going to vote, but because it's not really relevant to me as a city councilor.
Right.
But I support the school system, and I support our school board. I think they're doing a really nice job in a really difficult environment.
I see. All right. How about on the initiative of housing? Do you support the City of South Burlington signing on to the Let's Grow Homes initiative? After all, how does South Burlington help to meet the ends for more housing in this region?
I don't. So South Burlington has been really intentional about its land use policy, housing being one potential land use. And in my mind, our land use policy rests on 3 pillars. First, as it relates to housing, is to direct housing into areas, I'm gonna use the word degraded, that aren't green space, that aren't natural anymore. And we're doing that by increasing density, by making, ensuring that people can make more flexible uses of their lots, of their land they do have, by incentivizing ADUs, by allowing buildings to go taller, and a host of other things, smaller lots. That, and as a result of that, we built 600 plus new homes over the past few years. We've kind of exceeded our targets, exceeded our average growth rates. So I think on the housing front, you know, we've been building a lot of great houses in the right places. The other two pillars are, one, build those houses in recognition of the climate crisis. And what I mean by that, if you build a new home, build it so it's not consuming fossil fuels. Our new homes have to be built so that the hot water is generated from renewable energy, that most of the house is heated by renewable energy, that there's EV charging infrastructure, that we have solar on our roofs, solar ready for residential, solar PV required for commercial, because we have a climate crisis, and the climate crisis is not going away. Let's build homes, lobbies against building homes in recognition of the climate crisis. They've lobbied to lower efficiency standards for homes. The third pillar is to protect areas that haven't been degraded, because we need those spaces. We need those spaces for quality of life. We need those spaces for our pollinators. We need the wetlands to buffer against the flooding that we've seen. We need the wetlands to clean the water as it goes into Lake Champlain, to clean the air, to sequester carbon, and a host of other things. And for all living things that we share this planet with, because we're not the only living things on the planet. Let's build homes, lobbies for and supported the government's initiative to roll back wetland protections. So they're a lobbying organization who we all agree is a housing shortage, but the way they want to do it is a direct contravention, direct conflict with the policies, goals, and values of South Burlington and our community that have served our community really well and that need to continue.
On the front of, I guess, the development and how that would also be addressed by the city of South Burlington, do you think that these costs would have to be adjusted, or would this all be inclusive of like a similar budget, like 58.4 million, or would have to? Can
you restate the question, the costs? I'm not understanding the question.
In order to achieve these goals, right, to build.
We're doing it as we speak.
As we speak, okay. I mean, as far as, again, developing goals go, do you think that there should be, more of this redevelopment for environmental projects, not just for housing, but even beyond that?
Why did I run for the city council? Because there's not a lot of time here to talk about these things. I am deeply saddened when I think about the world that our children could potentially inherit, given the trajectory that we're on. And I think about it every single day. And it's crazy to me that we're continuing to build new homes with fossil fuel infrastructure when we have the technology to not do that. So I ran for city council in the hope that we can start some systemic change here and that it would snowball. And that's what I'd love to see happen. So I will tell my, fellow city councilors and select people sitting, at other boards and councils around Vermont, come talk to us. Come talk to us. We're doing good things here, and it's working, and people are really happy with these energy efficient fossil fuel homes, and we're doing good for the planet.
Excellent. All right. In regards to not just housing, but other forms of development within the city, right? Other public works, public spaces. So South Burlington has areas of dense residential development and is building more of these mixed development housing. So how does the city balance the needs of these different uses? How do we prioritize, let's say, these?
You're contrasting mixed development with, I'm not following the question there. Mixed development, you mean commercial mixed?
Mixed development housing. So I'm presuming between residential development and commercial development. Right. How do we strike that?
Let me just, maybe I'll just rephrase it. How do we, and I think I've kind of spoken this, right? How do we strike the balance of many different folks wanting to use our limited supply of land in different ways, right? There's different ways to use it, right? So you can protect it on the one hand, you can build it densely on the other. You can have suburban sprawl, single-family homes in the middle. You know, you can parkland. You can have land that's maybe off limits. That's for wildlife. How do you manage all that? Lots of community conversations, lots of transparent conversations. We're working right now on a parks and open space master plan, which is going to set out the vision for kind of exactly that. You know, of our open spaces, you know, should any be set aside for wildlife? Of the open spaces, you know, should it be passive recreation or active recreation? Are those spaces accessible? Do we need more spaces? Do we have enough accessible parkland in the right corners of the city? If not, you know, do we have funding to get it? How do we get it? So that plan is going to help answer all those questions with a lot of community input. We have great committees. We have a natural resource committee. We have a bike ped committee. We have a parks and rec committee, all with really dedicated volunteers from the community that are going to help answer all these questions.
Excellent. I mean, on the question of constituent access, so how can the city meet the language access needs of its residents, and how do you connect with your constituents from these diverse backgrounds?
Yeah. So kudos to our city staff and for putting together an amazing South Burlington website where you can go on the website and click and have it translate that website into one of 150 different languages. Right. So that's new, that's amazing, and that's great. Our ballot will be printed out in 6 different languages. Impressive. We've been very intentional about trying to make the city and the city government more accessible. So we have a communication strategy and a communication strategy director who's really amazing, putting out our meetings on Facebook, Instagram, you know, other social media channels, blasting out email lists. You know, we've adopted conversation with a counselor where we get together with constituents once a month and invite them in. So I think we're trying really hard, and I think we've been successful in ensuring access to residents, you know, across the city. Can you do more? You can always do more, and you know, happy for feedback on there. Like, what are additional things that we can be doing? Right. But I think we're doing a lot, and I think we're doing a lot successfully. Right.
I think it's good groundwork. Now, I guess on the last connection, right, building these inroads with people, how would you improve South Burlington's transportation infrastructure and systems? Any plans there?
Well, yeah, and that too. You know, we've got a terrific bike ped committee. We've got an active transportation plan, and we've got a Pennies for Path fund. And you know, with all that, we've been building out our path network, and we've got a lot of money allocated for paths that are just on the horizon. I would say this summer, next summer. Sometimes these things take a lot longer than you'd hope, because you got to plan them, and you got to get your easements, and easements take time, and you got to get permits. You know, it's just, things take time. But we're on the threshold of having a truly integrated, amazing shared use path, bike path, pedestrian bike path network all throughout South Burlington. We also work really closely with GMT. And through that close relationship, we've, I think, made lemonades out of lemons. And the GMT reconfiguration, where now we've got a GMT bus going right through our downtown, right to the heart of Burlington, right? Which is so important for all those residents moving into city center. So, right, it's a combination of all these things. We've also got in our LDRs as of 2 years ago, something called transportation demand management, where for new construction, you know, a developer needs to, you know, pick from a menu, right, and check certain things. Am I going to have indoor bike parking, or am I going to get free bus passes, or, you know, this or that, all kind of incenting and incentivizing people to get around efficiently, more carbon efficiently, reduce vehicle miles traveled, get to places quicker, get to places cheaper.
Right. I mean, yeah, everything to help. I think the transportation is a huge element when it comes to building a city, keeping everything moving, making sure people get to work, school, and home and whatnot. So excellent. I think we're almost close to time. Would you like 30 seconds to close out and give any last comments?
We didn't talk about the Economic Development Strategic Plan, which I'm a big proponent of. I'm so excited to see what happens there. The budget has a director to do that. I'm just excited about the future of the city. Again, I think this council has been really firing on all cylinders, and I hope the community supports. I hope the community really recognizes that and supports the direction we're going and allows us to continue to go in that great direction. South Burlington was nominated as the best place to live in Vermont, one of the best places for families in the country, and I love it here.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, everyone, tonight for Town Meeting TV's. This is Andrew Chalnick for South Burlington City Council. You can find this and many more forums at cctv.org/TMD2026 or on our Town Meeting TV's YouTube channel. Don't forget to cast your ballots on Town Meeting TV on or before March 3rd, 2026, and tune in to Town Meeting TV's results recap show that evening, starting live at 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you for watching and sharing Town Meeting TV.